Let none of you fall suddenly upon your wife like an animal. Let there be a messenger between the two. Someone asked, what is a messenger or prophet? He said, kissing and words. Is this hadith referring to the popular concept of foreplay?
So at first look, the phrase kissing and words sound very much like the modern concept of foreplay.
But the Prophet said between the two. He didn't say before sex. So why do we take it as before sex, which is what the concept of foreplay is about?
Right, so it appears that the messenger between the two is referring to something that should exist between spouses always, meaning on bed, out of bed, in private and in public.
But kissing and words in public, especially the kissing part, the words part is kind of reasonable. But when it comes to the kissing part, should be the kissing in public.
Okay, if we confine ourselves to the idea of kissing as the smooching kind, then it may not be so appropriate. But if we take the spirit of kissing and expand it to mean sensual pleasuring, then there are many kinds of sensual pleasuring which are decent and appropriate in public. So by sensual pleasuring, I'm talking about evoking or stimulating the senses.
For example,
Holding hands while walking down the street, slinging your hand over the shoulder, or by sitting in front of the TV, putting your head on your partner's shoulder, or even sitting close together
to cuddle
or cuddle
with the kids.
With the kids watching TV together.
With the mother-in-law?
Also can, but don't cuddle the mother-in-law. So these are the simple things that we can do as a couple to make sure that we are being sensually connected throughout the days.
In other words, in that case, the decent kind of massage that we can give to each other at the end of a working day to relieve muscular tension or to relieve stress, that simple therapeutic massage, the decent one, can also be considered sensual pleasuring.
Yes.
In other words, it is also in the spirit of kissing.
Well, yes, and in fact, you remember that sensual pleasure is just not about touching. It involves the five senses: sight, smell, touch, taste, and hearing. It encompasses wider options that we can incorporate in our daily life. So I want to move away for the idea that outside bed we have to be like sexual all the time. We can just be sensual. The idea is to be in touch with each other physically and to savor each other's presence. And all these touches don't have to be sexual at all.
And they can't be sexual because we are in public. But the impact can be felt deep in the heart, precisely because they are not sexual. When you touch, when you caress, you pleasure each other to relieve tension or to express your closeness to each other. You do it sincerely for that purpose, without the ulterior motive of a sexual reward.
So taken as a whole, kissing and words in the daily setting is as simple as presenting and relating to each other in a sensually and verbally pleasurable ways.
Okay, but isn't that a no-brainer? Shouldn't couples be doing this every day anyway? Why is there a need for a special hadith to remind us?
Well, that's what I see in my counselling. Among couples who are not enjoying their sex, these are the simple things that are missing from their daily non-sexual interaction. The kind of touches that we talk about are considered mushy and unnecessary. And some can even be awkward to see each other naked, even though they never stopped having sex. They will just switch off the lights and get it over with, but soon the sex becomes purely genital and then it becomes a boring routine. But they keep doing it because that's what married couples are supposed to do.
So, in other words, if you are the kind of couples who are comfortable being touchy-feely in private, and you know how to be decently sensual in public, and you enjoy doing this and discussing your sex life, then they should keep it up.
Don't stop the habit just because you got the license for sex. If you stop or even slack on it, in the long term, you will lose the excitement of the simple physical pleasure that you can give to each other.
And in the long run, if you are not comfortable relating to each other sensually and verbally on a day-to-day setting, what makes you think you can pull off the touchy-feely gestures and maneuvers that the foreplay techniques require?
You will most likely be shy, awkward, and even irritated, and just be going through the motion. And then when it doesn't work, you start blaming each other. Then even foreplay becomes passive.
On the other hand, couples who are all around comfortable sensually and verbally with each other, they are likely to be ready already, even before the foreplay, because they've been desiring each other all day long. These are the kind of couples who would indulge in the seduction and the romance of foreplay, not because they need to, but because they enjoy the lingering sensuality and the lengthy communication that usually happen in foreplay. In fact, sometimes they may even be indulging in this sensual pleasuring for its own sake. Even if they don't intend to have sex, they would actually enjoy the seduction in itself.
So as marital counselors, that is the gist of the Prophet's message. That hits us every time we read this hadith. He was pointing to the importance of genuine connection between spouses, which is not tainted by the ulterior motive of sex.
And the word he used to describe this special connection between spouses is messenger between the two. And this special connection must exist first before the animal mating is transformed into a truly human love mating.